All right, welcome to hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr. Let's talk about BravoCon. Everyone's excited about it. Such an interesting thing because as it got its momentum at the very beginning, the first BravoCon, all of a sudden, that epic moment, not actually so epic, but the moment we remember, March of 2020, when everything sort of changed and shifted and we had to adapt. It was like too close to the excitement of the original BravoCon, and it's sort of taken a little momentum to get back up and rolling, but it did seem like the second installment was, really strong, and some of it was televised, and I feel like they got a good thing going there. It's almost a shocking situation that BravoCon is as big as it is, but at the end of the day, this is the powerhouse for reality TV. I would say only second to not second to, but the only close competition would maybe be the TLC network, but that's like such an extreme in terms of the way they do some of their shows. BravoCon is Bravo itself is like a world of its own. So talking about what it is and the excitement, and I, for sure always love all things New York City, but I strangely feel like the Las Vegas one that is coming up in November, late November, mid-November, I'm sorry, early November. What am I talking about? Early November. Sorry, the excitement. I could hardly contain myself, I suppose. I kind of just feel like it's going to work. I feel like Vegas and this particular style of reality TV stars and, the drinking escapades that will go on, I really do feel like it will make for a great setting for this installment of BravoCon. And I think the experience of conventions in general is just so big, and why wouldn't and why shouldn't the network sort of take full advantage of that? I mean, I don't necessarily identify with watching the sci-fi type stuff, and they always have those conventions that are geared towards that. So it's nice that there's something geared towards people who like this type of content, this type of programming, these fun, vibrant personalities. I mean, something that I really do feel like I'd like to be a part of in terms of BravoCon. I lived in Vegas at one time. Yes, I did. I lived in Vegas for about 1 year's time. And I always say that, well, a couple things. Vegas, at the time I lived there, was around 2004, 2005. It is not even, I mean, I can't really necessarily explain this because I have not been there, in the last year or so. But I feel like it just keeps on growing and growing. And, it does grow because if you think about it, like at one point they didn't even have, half of the new hotels, but not just that, like the way the old school was, like the Fremont experience was like kind of way over there. And now I feel like that's got some rhythm. They have a professional sports team, which of course that shows a little rhythm. And even when I was watching $1 Million Listing Los Angeles, they finale'd their episode in Las Vegas because there was this new, I don't know, sort of like this real estate like term in terms of, oh, it's the new Beverly Hills of Las Vegas. Now I think that's still a stretch, but it, it's showcasing that they are going to do some amazing things. And I don't think any of that was there really in 2004. Specifically, I remember because when I was there in 2004, I was working in radio and it was fun, but it didn't really feel that much connected, even though they say it's like the number one entertainment capital of the world, and it is, and there's always shows, et cetera, et cetera. But at that time that I was in Las Vegas, there was no, even like the residencies, like, Janet Jackson had a residency, Britney Spears, although there was some stuff going on in that regard, there was a residency. Who Usher's has had a residency, right? Celine Dion. I mean, it just has grown in such a way, and my mind goes crazy to think like, where would my life have been if I would have stayed working in Las Vegas radio and knowing how Las Vegas will have grown to what it became. Anyways, that's a side note in terms of BravoCon and what Bravo has to offer. This particular, BravoCon that they're going to have, but I just do really feel like it will be a good experience. The one thing I think about BravoCon, I kind of sort of compare it to DragCon. For RuPaul's Drag Race, they of course have their own convention, and I've worked both of the New York and the LA version with the great Michelle Visage, so I've worked and seen all of the magic, but I don't know that the Bravo experience is exactly that same thing. It is a different experience. It's even bigger in terms of I mean, without comparing the two, it's bigger in terms of the live broadcast that Andy Cohen usually does, seeing all the reality stars sort of being both excited and humble within each other. And one thing that's a little interesting to me too is that sometimes people on these shows are painted as such one note, and I think that it's really cool for the fan base to see the variety within a lot of the cast members. And it's competitive, so sometimes the cast members are a little competitive, and that does push out there a little bit. But in terms of what I think it'll be, I think it will be quite magical in Las Vegas. I just can't get over that. I think Andy Cohen, it will be as cheesy as always in the best possible way. And luck be a lady tonight. It's gonna be a big deal. The things that are of interest or intriguing to me when it comes to BravoCon is just how much movement and how much momentum things happen within BravoCon. Like thinking about the first one, like that was at a moment where you were barely meeting and understanding this idea of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and all that would come with that. Like this was at a time where you never knew who a Mary Cosby was, or certainly not a Jen Shaw, or certainly what Jen Shaw would be going through. So it's just really becomes a monumental moment in pop culture. I wouldn't say history, but definitely pop culture in terms of the moment. This is a moment in pop culture. You can deny reality TV all you want, which, not everyone denies it, but you have to really embrace that this part of reality TV is big pop culture, because every of the cast members, specifically Housewives, but some of the other shows too, they are of that really high level of media coverage and press, and it's quite amazing. I have my judgments when I watch a Real Housewives show or a $1 Million Listing or a Summer House or a Vanderpump Rules, but I think there are times where these cast members go through so much, and it's not like they don't get paid and rewarded as well, but they go through so much. I think it is nice to celebrate. I don't know necessarily if the budget and how much it costs to go on the fan level is anything that is it seems a little much. But I've always worked, from radio, since 2002. I've always worked in media and press and all that kind of thing. So I would much more be escorted in through a media lane rather than having to pay for it. But it is something that I would love to really, really check out, the Las Vegas version. I think it's going to be amazing. I think people are going to show their behinds, not literally, but you know what I mean. And I feel like we're going to eat it up in some way. I think that I want, when I watch these shows, I sometimes say, Bravo, I think you go right to the drama and the scandals so quickly, but I feel like these reality TV stars are so funny, and I want to see more of that. I just do. I don't feel like it has to be that. I mean, I know for ratings you have to give like the big, oh my gosh, this one is in trouble with this one, and this one's cheating on this one with this one. Like, I understand it all, but sometimes it's really nice to see and celebrate those same cast members and their achievements, where they walked in, like a Bethany Frankel type. Obviously, I'm not sure she would even be there, but like the way she walked in as this one person, but then through the navigation of the television show, she's able to, create this giant business. I like that. I think, like, just if you could wave a magic wand, like doo-doo-doo-doo, wave the wand. Not sure why I had that little sound effect, but doo-doo-doo-doo. I'll do it again. I'll do it 3 times. Doo-doo-doo-doo. If I could wave a magic wand and like be responsible for hosting one of the panels, it would really be, for me personally, within my 20 years of experience in radio and now moving into the YouTube space or whatever. I would love, like, if they were to say, Ronnie, randomly Ronnie, you can host one of the panels. I don't know that I don't know which, they'd all be great, right? But I would probably want to do one where it was about talking with the talent and how their specific navigation within all of the business elements and what they have achieved and what they've aimed for, where they've missed, in those goals, where they've accomplished in those goals, and how much of a toll does it take in terms of I have to go through all of this on the show, but then like I walk away with all of this. It would just be such a dynamic conversation. Now the panels are always changing, and there's always all kinds of different things that are going on. And again, I just think that we, as a fan base, especially when it was opened up to like Twitter and Instagram and all these things, like it's become very really opinionated in such a way, and that's fine. You know, I know a lot of people say once you put yourself on the television, you're subjected to get, you know, whatever critique, but sometimes it goes a little too far. And I just feel like if this is a great celebratory time for the people that we enjoy watching on these casts, you know, within the casts, this is a great time to celebrate that. You know, this is a great time to say, sure, they're just reality stars, but like it's not even something you make fun of anymore, because reality TV is something that, you know, people who have had an acting career cross right over. You know, Lisa Rinna at one time was, you know, more so in Hollywood for real, but then she goes on this gigantic show that's helped her career more than anything, you know, and now she's off the show currently for like a moment. I assume she would come back. It's all fun to see. It's kind of like a once in a lifetime thing in terms of what we've seen. We've not seen this, you know, we've seen that it's happened on the level of like a Kardashian, but we haven't seen that it has happened on the level of all reality television. You know, those TLC shows do pack a punch, but I don't know that all of them then become personalities. Like they still make their money, so let's not act like they're not in it for a reason, but the longevity and the staying power, Bravo has really got it going on. So BravoCon, November, Las Vegas. I feel like everyone's going to be in the house. I feel like even myself should be up in there. And whether I go or don't go, I think it's going to be really great, compelling television when they do like the Watch What Happens lives and stuff like that, or whatever it's been called programming wise. You know, and sometimes it seems like some of the stories originate from BravoCon, you know, good and bad. Hopefully it's all on the up and up. And, you know, it's so easy. And I think about like the cast members that I don't enjoy. There's a couple in my mind, but I won't say them. If you watch me regularly, you do know. I feel like even the ones that I don't really enjoy on the television, it's a job. They're doing their job. I think I would be, you know, pleased as punch to meet some of them or see them or whatever. And I'm not in a groveling way, because I barely get excited to meet a celebrity. You know, again, I've been in this for a long time. I've worked in radio since 2002, so there's not a lot of like experiences that excite me on that level. But I think there's a part of me that's like excited for the Bravo. What do you call it? The Bravo celebrity. Like I kind of like vicariously live through that. Like, damn, like. I can't hate, because you are like getting paid to sort of go have fun on the television. Obviously, there's more to it. But anyway, that was just a couple thoughts that I had. Let me do a word real quick. Hold on, I got to find the file. So professional. Got to find the file. Let's do a word, and then we'll come back and I'll give my final thoughts on BravoCon, the upcoming Las Vegas version. But first, a quick break.
Well, hello there. Thank you for watching and supporting the show with my good friend, Randomly Ronnie Jr. Who the hell am I? Great question. My name is Mark Rodriguez with Mastermind Media, and I wanted to take just a moment of your time to let you know about all the other incredible things this guy, Randomly Ronnie Jr. has going on. But first, before we get into that, please comment, like, and subscribe. That is how he grows here on these channels. But one channel you probably don't know about is patreon.com/randomly Ronnie Jr., where he's got a bunch more exclusive content. So please check that out. But speaking of YouTube, let's go back to YouTube for a second. He's got this hashtag randomly with Ronnie Jr. and it shows all of his stuff in his days in radio from back in the day, all the way up to present day, and his new interviews, podcasts, just videos across the board. So please check that out, because when you think about content creators, there's millions of content creators, but there's only one, Randomly Ronnie Jr. Let's get back into the show.
Right. Yes, Mark, you better tell them. Never a dull moment for me to talk about me. I mean, I love myself. What are you going to do? Okay, so quick things. BravoCon, some expectations that I have that I would like to see. Not even would like to see, but I sort of envision what excites me about this particular Las Vegas installment of BravoCon. So picture it like this. Like at this current moment right now, you know, in spring of 2023, we know who the cast is going to be because they were, of course, rolled out for the previous BravoCon. But the Real Housewives of New York, which we have been waiting for, like I have been very dissatisfied with losing the show. You know, the season that didn't do so well. I think Ebony K. Williams did a great job, but it just was not, and nothing was adding up, and they had to make a decision. Well, we have been waiting, and I think like putting in my mind the perspective of like, okay, we've lost RHONY for so long, and now we know who the new cast is. But currently, in this moment in spring, we've got no idea. We've got no favorites. We don't have our like guilty pleasure, you know, in terms of cast. We don't have our villain. We have nothing right now. But at BravoCon in Vegas, we will, and stuff like that really excites me. Like again, as I mentioned before, it was like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We didn't even know about. And then we knew about it through BravoCon. You know, there are the negative stuff too. I was never happy, and I'm not going to do a whose side, but I was never happy with like, you know, BravoCon at the hotel, Jennifer Aiden and the Gorgas. Like I just, you know, Team Gorga all day. But you know, there are some things that are more on the negative side, but it's more of it is just a really big celebration of all these potential shows and cast members. Like right now, we don't have, but we'll have it very soon. We have no real understanding outside of through Instagram who the Martha's Vineyard version of Summer House. Right now, we don't know the people, but by BravoCon in November, you know, that show could be the biggest show ever, you know, which I'm actually quite excited about. But I was also a Summer House, the regular installment. I actually really liked that. In fact, I think the Martha Stewart, hello, the Martha's Vineyard version. I'm almost as excited about it separately. I don't really even feel like it needed to be a Summer House, but I also understand the way these shows go. You know, you want to sort of keep like a fan base and push it to the next thing. I mean, thinking about Summer House does stand on its own, but it was like, you know, that one episode where Stassi, you know, went to go and meet with the, what was it, the Workus sisters? Was that the twins? And that became what Summer House is. So I totally like understand it. But again, shows that are being in development right now, they will be you know, be able to be promoted and talked about at BravoCon Las Vegas. And here's the other question. Vegas is like lifestyle wise, like getting a bunch of Bravo talent together. I mean, I think New York City, as I said, I've lived in New York City for 7 years on and off. It's fantastic. Greatest place on the history like ever. But Vegas, I mean, I sound like I'm in the movie Swingers. Remember the movie Swingers? Vegas, baby, Vegas. Like it's Vegas, and it is exciting. Although it wasn't a place that I enjoyed living, I could tell you that. I was there, like I said, working in radio, 2004, 2005. It was not on a long-term basis, but it's grown so much. So I don't know. I envision myself up in that BravoCon, you know, having a good time. You know, the cast members that I love are like a Giselle Bryant, a Larsa Pippen, a Kenya Moore, a Sonia Morgan. If I walked by Kyle Richards, I would feel like I'm the more talented and amazing person. Kyle would be like, I'd give Kyle the camera and say, "Can you take a photo like of us?" And just like, you know, I would not necessarily give the Kyle respect because I've never thought Kyle was entertaining on season 1. I believe she's super connected, so it is what it is. But in terms of if we're keeping it funky and real, she has not been compelling television. So I'd walk right by her as if I was the star because I am a star. Anyways, I'm just being silly. I hope you just enjoyed what we kind of chit-chatted about. Tell me a couple things. In the comments, you could say, where is the hotspots in Vegas now? Like, what are the hotels that you really would like to stay at? That's number 1. Number 2, what if you were, you know, running around and trying to see your favorite talent, which of the talents would you want to see? Again, for me, it's I live for a Kenya Moore. Like, if wherever Kenya Moore is at, I want to be. People give her a hard time, but I love a Larsa Pippen. I love a Melissa Gorga. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I like the pretty girls. Like I'm like in the pretty girl vibe. Like it is what it is. So, and we live in, we eating. I'm just being silly. I am so full of myself today. Oh. I don't know why. Is it because I'm thinking about Las Vegas? Is it because I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, Wrapping it up, it is we're chatting about BravoCon of 2023 in November, and tickets are probably going to go by quick, but I just thought it would be a good little conversation to have a chat about it, and I think it'll be exciting. Heading out of here, and we'll talk on the next episode.